Hey folks, Bocephus here, coming at you on the 26th of August 2023, T minus 5 days and counting until we blast off into space. 6 days for some, depending on if you have early access or not. But this video today isn't going to be any kind of major unveiling or any major news or anything, just some things that really stood out to me over the weekend from Gamescom, from things I've read, interviews I saw that I think are pretty interesting. So let's get to it. First thing on my agenda is a statement about the modders. The modders will be able to create their own planets. I think this will really open up the game for very, very creative people. New quests, whole planets as their playground. They can make cities, towns, new creatures, new aliens, factions, whatever their imagination can think up. They'll have whole planets they can work with if they want. I think that'll be a pretty awesome deal. The next thing is a robust crafting and outpost building system. Now, Fallout 4's was okay, but it was kind of janky in some respects. Hard to get things to snap together, and to me, without the modders, just didn't have enough building pieces, didn't have enough things for decoration. So if you just played the vanilla game, you're pretty limited on how you can make your settlements look. I hope they have a lot more variety in the outpost building, and in the crafting, the modding of weapons, spacesuits. I don't know if anybody mentioned anything if you could add mods, or like in Fallout 4, some kind of ballistic weave to your regular clothes, and if you can, if it stacks with your armor specifications and all that stuff. So we'll find out on that when the game launches. We come to the next one that I think is awesome, and one of the most important ones, and that's this will be the first real NG Plus mode in a Bethesda game. This actually may change my plans on how I'm going to play the game. Fallout 4, I didn't finish the main story till about 2.5 years ago. Once I discovered mods a long time ago, you could add player quests, items, weapons, new factions, new settlements, all that stuff. I mean, the modders are just fantastic. The modding community for Bethesda games is just like nothing else. But once I discovered I could mod the game, Fallout 4 and Skyrim I've never completed either, but I don't spend as much time in Skyrim either. Yeah, I didn't finish the main story until about 2.5 years ago for Fallout 4, and I've had the game since it launched. For Starfield, since they added the NG Plus, I may change up. I may go ahead and finish up the main story first and then start a new game plus. I don't know what I'm going to do when the game launches. If I'm just going to dive straight into the main story, finish it up, that way I can say I've done it instead of 10 years later I still hadn't finished it. Next on the agenda is the lore of Starfield. Now, I saw that there is a museum in Atlantis with lots of the lore explained, like what happened to Earth and a lot of other things. So I could probably spend, depending on how much is in there may be hours worth of stuff in there for you to read and catch up on with the lore. But I know I'll find that museum and probably spend a lot of time in it. And which brings me to the mission boards with a variety of missions. I think this is a pretty interesting concept. It kind of reminds me of the old Star Wars galaxies and mission terminals. I know those were pretty grindy, but that's what kind of reminds me of. From my understanding, there's going to be a lot of variation in quests you get from them. Like I plan on being, starting a bounty hunter. I wonder if that you get bounty hunter missions from there, or depending on whatever kind of mission, depending on what backgrounds and stuff you choose. And from my understanding, there's also some quests to build outposts and things like that. So it sounds like the mission boards would be a pretty important part of the game to get you launched off into some new directions and new adventures. Which brings me to the next one, which is they're all saying, all the devs, from what I'm seeing from testers that are skirting around the NDA and saying as much as they can is the game is big, really big. And that's good to hear. If a game's going to last for 10 years, it's got to have a lot of content and a lot of places to explore. From what I'm reading and what I'm hearing, Bethesda's really delivered on this. That's getting me pretty excited. Brings me to the next one, straight from Pete Hines. There's a question asked, when I land on a planet, will I be able to explore that whole entire planet? Pete Hines replies, yep, if you want, walk on, brave explorers. So that tells me you can pick a spot on a planet, land, and you can walk anywhere you want on that planet. You can explore every inch of that planet on foot, with the exception, of course, going in the oceans and stuff like that. But who knows? I mean, we don't know yet. Not everything's been revealed. There may be submersibles. You may be able to take a submersible underwater. So who knows? But I know I've seen the screenshot and I've seen the deliberation about there being boundaries. And I have my own thoughts on that, a couple of different conclusions. One is that screenshot that has been seen, which I will not show here. You reach a boundary and it may be a tutorial area, and it may be a thing where they're asking you, are you sure you want to leave the tutorial area? But the most likely explanation, if there are boundaries, in my, I could be completely wrong, but it's just a hunch or a theory, is that if you reach an area, the area of land is going to be huge to explore, huge. They're saying Skyrim size map before you reach any kind of limit. But my theory is that if there is a boundary in place, it does ask you if you want to quick travel back to your ship or continue forward. It doesn't say you can't explore the rest of the planet. They're all saying you can explore the whole planet. Every inch, meter by meter, foot by foot. And so I believe that you can. They are very adamant about it, all the devs. So I think if there is a boundary and it pops up and it asks you if you want to continue on, it's asking you if you want to continue on foot. And there may be a loading screen, so it gives the next map grid some time to fill in. And then you're there. Only time will tell. We'll all know in a few days soon enough. Which brings me to one of the last ones, which is kind of, to me, slightly disappointing, but I don't know how boost packs are going to work. How many, skill ups and boost packs you'll need, what kind of effect it'll have on the speed you can traverse the ground and all that. But there is no, it's a little disappointing. There isn't even one type of some kind of ATV vehicle that you can use to help you explore. Some have said that they'd rather do it on foot than, be roaming around and having to get off a vehicle all the time to mine a mineral or anything like that, which, I understand that. Well, what about those that aren't there to mine stuff, that are just running around, exploring, sightseeing, or whatever? Not everybody is going to be mining resources or have that interest to mine a whole lot of resources or pluck a lot of flowers. So if I know there's some kind of mining facility or POI that I land close by, and I don't feel like mining on the way there, I'd just kind of rather have an ATV to get on and head on over there. Maybe disappointing, but it all depends, I think, on the boost pack and how much enhanced movement you'll have with the boost pack the further down in the tree you get. One thing I noticed this morning is that Starfield has really launched up in the top of the sales charts, and it's not even launch day yet. And I think it's going to be moving into place to challenge Baldur's Gate. I think with everything the devs have put out on the table about this game, I think it's really sold a lot of people on it. So I am hoping for a good launch, and everything, all indications from what I've seen from little hints that all the reviewers that I follow have given is that it is going to be a good launch, that it's, I wouldn't say bug free, but bugs will be at a minimum. It'll work out of the gate, and we're all going to find out in 5 to 6 days, those of us that have early access. Can't wait. I'm excited for this game. My hype is getting even stronger. It's being hard. It's been hard to keep that hype in check because of everything I've seen. Not just from the devs and Gamescom and new stuff that's come out about it, but also my favorite reviewers that I watch all the time, guys that I trust. Pretty much trust their opinion on. I mean, I don't agree with them on everything, but I pretty much trust their opinion on stuff. So that's all I got for right now. My thoughts on a few things. If you have any thoughts, something you want to add to the list of things here, be sure and leave a comment, like and subscribe. Help out the channel. I appreciate all of you. Take care of yourselves. Be good to each other, and I'll see you next video.